On Tuesday, October 12, 2021, Natasha Akpoti had a dispute with me. And after the dispute, she went on social media and accused me of sexually harassing her. She claimed that at a state banquet at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa held by President Goodluck Jonathan for the visiting Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta on Tuesday, May 6, 2014, I had sexually harassed her. Now the thing is, a month before, the Chibok girls had been abducted. And as one of his presidential spokesmen, President Jonathan sent me to the United States as a special envoy to try to clean up Nigeria's image. I left in April and I wasn't back in Nigeria until the end of May. So obviously, Natasha Akpoti lied. So what I did, I went on social media and I published my passport stamp with my passport leaving Nigeria and then entering the United States, showing the stamps. And I also published a first-class British Airways ticket showing that I left Nigeria for the United Kingdom and from the United Kingdom to the United States, and I wasn't in Nigeria throughout the time when Natasha Akpoti accused me. So she obviously lied. So what happened is that after the newspapers published my evidence, Natasha deleted all traces of her accusation. She deleted everything. She had made a video insulting me and my wife and my newborn daughter. She also deleted that. The next day, I got a phone call from a prominent Christian clergyman. And they felt that, okay, as a fellow pastor, I would listen to a member of the body of Christ. This is a senior member of the body of Christ. He called me on three-way with Emmanuel Oishejolomi Akpoti, I think Uduaha rather. Emmanuel Oishejolomi Uduaha, Natasha Akpoti's present husband. And they appealed to me, they quoted the scriptural references about Christians taking each other to court. And I listened to them. And we settled the matter out of court. I was paid a large amount of money as damages. And I let the matter go. So, fast forward, 4 years later, Natasha Akpoti had a dispute with the Senate President. And then, after that dispute, she went on Arise TV and accused him of sexual harassment. It sounds like deja vu. Now, the thing is, I do not know if those allegations are true. But one thing I know is that Natasha Akpoti is a liar, a known liar. So, here's the thing. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Before Nigerians crucify Senator Godswill Akpabio, I would encourage people like Obi Ezekwesili and others now agitating to ask Natasha Akpoti to take a lie detector test. It's very easy. Take a lie detector test. Come out, take the test, be escorted by one senator that is in your support and another senator that is just objective. Or if you don't want that, then you can actually go with Obi Ezekwesili herself. And then a third party, maybe somebody from CAN or from the National Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs or some other objective body. Do a lie detector test. Because if you think about what happened to me, if I didn't have the ticket and my passport stamp and even videos and photographs of me in the State Department in Washington and later at my son's school in San Francisco, everybody would have believed that I sexually harassed Natasha Akpoti. So because I had evidence, she retracted her false allegations and deleted every trace of them. Now, just assume that I'm lying. Just Google Natasha Akpoti accuses Reno and just read about the facts. It was carried by Punch, Guardian, Vanguard, even this day. So the thing is, I don't know if what she's saying right now is true. But until she takes a lie detector test, the presumption is that she is acting on her past behavior. My name is Reno. Thank you for watching this, and may God bless you.
My people, is really getting hot. This Natasha allegation against the Senate president is really something else. And the senators are not even taking it slightly on this lady. To tell you, even Akpabio's supporters, they are even telling you that the suspension given to her is not enough. That they are not satisfied with only 6 months suspension given to that senator. That in fact, she should be called back by her constituent people. You understand? The people from Okogi State. That they should call this lady guide her, and after guiding her and counseling her, they should remove her and replace her with another person. Don't be smart in my correct people. Them, they don't want that woman to continue as a senator representing her constituents any longer. They just want that woman to be fired. You know one thing they talk say fired. You have been removed. You are no longer a senator. You have been, in fact, you have excused yourself. Okay, now looking at what Omokri said, because I know that Senator Akpabio is the third person that this woman is saying that, alleging that he harassed her, sexually. So now the question now is, you say that Akpabio harassed you since 2023, and we are now in 2025. You did not say anything all this while. You didn't even come out to talk, but you keep romancing with him in the Senate House, in the National Assembly. We saw how both of you are too close, how both of you normally laugh, even on pictures, the way both of you are too close to each other more. It be like say it pass even self a senator house there. This woman, women, make una take am easy before you vow something out. If you want to, you want to talk out your frustrations or how you've been maltreated, you just want to tell the people that you are not okay or you are dissatisfied with the action that others are playing towards you. Not this way. Again, they say that these allegations of Akpabio, like this man said, he said that he cleared his name. You understand? He cleared his name. He proved to this lady that she was lying. And the next move she did was to delete all the allegations, including the write-ups and the videos she made against this man, her family, even including the newborn baby. According to Reno Mokri, you guys are from the horse's mouth. This lady deleted all these things, and she equally paid him for defamation. So what we expecting from Akpabio is to come and debunk this news. Sitting on that particular Senate president seat, and the person carry petition give you for hand. Now you still be the judge of that particular petition. I don't understand them. That is the corruption in the country. Although we acknowledge that Senator Natasha did not obey the rules, the codes and conduct that is guiding the senators in the country. You understand? Because every organization have rules that is guiding them. And when you breach it, you must be penalized. That is exactly what happened to Natasha. That is why she was suspended, because of the way she did what? She dropped her petition to the Senate. Your petition should not be signed by you. If you are petitioning your fellow senator, that petition, you are not expected to sign it. But she made mistake by signing that petition by herself. So for some of you that think that this is partiality or what, is because of she failed to acknowledge the rules that is guiding that Senate, senators, in this National Assembly, as senators in the country. My correct people, the way to when I got to talk, but the way people are busy defending Akpabio, like say Akpabio no be man. Akpabio na man fit harass woman sexually, anything fit happen. And now that woman a fine babe. Natasha na very fine and beautiful woman. Anything can happen. Man fit see am or more, one lock am up. You understand? Anything can just happen. Anyway, my correct people, them say they hurt. So this man, what do they call Reno Mokri? He don't talk say the Senate president should come out and defend himself like he did on his own, and then at least expect a compensation, payment of defamation of character from Senator Natasha. What do I got to talk concerning this? I will allow you guys to watch many Nigerians' reactions towards this. What did they talk for this kind of matter? Don't be smart, I beg, if you finish watching, never subscribe. Kindly do well to subscribe. Subscription na free, so make you dey watch our updates. I beg, if you know say wetin I talk good for your ear, kindly please share this video so that
for Nigeria, and I weep for democracy. I weep for the destruction of our institutions. This morning, I was called to the jarring assault by Air Force officials on the Ikeja electric outfits. There had been a back and forth as regards non-payment of electricity bills. And definitely if you don't pay your electricity bills, your electricity must be cut off. But guess what happened? Air Force officers went there, battered and beat up officials of Ikeja Electric, chucked the general manager, the MD, in a boot. She had to go and hide in a boot. I think I'm not even getting that part of the story right correctly. And damaged property and damaged a lot of people's livelihood. People's legs were broken, people were hurt, by the last count, over 10 casualties. Secondly, a Senate that is tainted, a Senate that has now shown that it lacks integrity. All of a sudden, the Senate chairman on ethics thinks that we don't know what we are doing. There was a petition sent on the 3rd of March by Barrister Neju as regards the sexual harassment allegations. Why didn't the Senate Ethics Committee take up that petition? Because they said it was because Natasha, Senator Natasha Akpabio, put forward a petition herself, and she was not supposed to do that. Granted, she was not supposed to do that. But there was an initial petition sent by Barrister Neju. They sidestepped that petition. The Senate Ethics Committee also violated a court injunction and an order that they should wait a minute and they should not try Senator Akpabio until they clarify from the court. But they went ahead and they tried that because in a kangaroo style, they wanted to nail her. Today, they have suspended her for 6 months. But Natasha will not be silent. All we are just saying is, please, give a level playing field for these matters to be investigated. I'm not saying Senator Natasha Akpabio is correct until she brings her facts. I'm not saying Senator Akpabio is innocent until he brings his facts. Let facts collide. This attempt to sidetrack Senator Natasha Akpabio by suspending her for 6 months, withdrawing her security, withdrawing all her benefits, withdrawing representation of the Kogi people, is a very sad day for democracy. And there's no way the Senate as an institution will be able to watch itself off because the Senate is tainted. That was how this same Senate suspended Senator Ningi when he actually had facts that the project was padded. It was months after that revelations did emerge and the budget was actually padded. I think it was the last budget cycle. So this high-handedness of the 10th Senate is indeed a shambolic one. And the 10th Senate cannot stand tall as an institution that truly defends democracy. I will say the Nigerian Senate does not have the integrity to speak. I would say a Senate committee on ethics that violates a court order of a judge, a federal high court judge. How ethical is a Senate committee on ethics that violated a court order? Just imagine that. That's the kind of kangaroo country we live. That's the kind of kangaroo institutions we have. A Senate committee on ethics violated a court order, a stay of execution order that was served on them. And that's the kind of country we live. It will be on record that Rufai Hussaini spoke up when they started to rape our democracy. This same democracy we fought for, when they started to rape this democracy, please show them this video that I spoke of. My children will see this video that I did speak up. It's not about Natasha Akpabio. It's about the high-handedness of the Senate. And if care is not taken, we have lost our institution. Just like what happened with Air Force officials going out there to attack Ikeja Electric Staff. It's trending everywhere. We broke the story here. And we have started to prevail on the Chief of Defense Staff. He says he's going to look into it. I trust General Musa that is going to look into it. But we must also see action. It will be on record that the day things started to crumble in Nigeria, that I spoke up. And please also speak up. Stop the sentiment and the hypocrisy. You see, because you might be leaning towards some political considerations, because it's all about what is in it for you. The truth is, the day the same system of evil you support will come back to haunt you, nobody will speak up for you. And that's why I speak up every time. I'm not speaking up because it's Natasha. Just like I spoke up for Ningi, Senator Ningi, I will constantly speak up as regards everything.
The Nigerian Senate, Nigerian National Assembly, please, is it a secret court or it is a parliament for the people? That place we call Nigerian National Assembly, the Nigerian Senate, Nigerian House of Reps, all of them, share a secret court or in a parliament we're supposed to make law to better the life of the people. You see this case between Senator Natasha Akpabio and Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Make una no dey distracted. Me, I'm not one of those people who you can fool with this kind of issues. The issue between Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio is only confirming that we as Nigeria, we have more serious problem. The problem with Senator Natasha or the allegations she raised is not just a problem on its own. It is a symptom of a bigger problem. Nigeria as a country, we are in deep shit if the National Assembly can conduct themselves the way they are conducting themselves. So for those of una, I pity una wey know how to support wetin dey wrong because you think say maybe na woman dey involved or she talk against person wey you like. Nigeria, we are in trouble. In fact, the way the Senate don't play out, it only goes to confirm part of the allegations of Senator Natasha. The entire Senate is a bunch of captured people. Everybody have been captured. So anybody will try to say your opposition or to go against the constituted authority, you can be sidelined and there could be consequences for you. So if you see any senator get up to talk, it is not because there are not good people there who do not know what is right or what is wrong, but nobody has the courage or the spine to speak up and defend what they know that is true. So every senator or lawmaker where they talk is trying to defend their own access to power. It is a battle of the sycophants in chief. Everybody is observing table manners. When you eat, you do not talk. So make I no go talk, make I no go against the people. Imagine a country where a National Assembly that is supposed to be serious with debates to help the people, everybody is sleeping on one side of the bed. So there is no meaningful opposition. That is to show you that the country can never move forward. So when you see some of the lawmakers where they vex, say, Senator Natasha, is it just about chair because they change your chair? No, it is obvious that there is an underlying issue before that change of chair for the senator to have reacted in that way. So waiting some of them, they vex, they say, why are you raising more serious issue from a smaller issue? This issue of change of chair is a small issue. You can overlook it. But they have failed to understand that there are more issues that have already been raised. Because a senator got up, she did not only allege sexual harassment, she alleged abuse of office by the Senate president and also malicious ambition to scuttle her, deprive her of her legislative powers. Nigerian Senate now don't give her 6 months suspension. So what now happens to the allegations against the Senate president? Because we now, as Nigerian politicians, you know how to quickly say you copy a system of government from America, you copy the presidential system of government from America. But waiting we now know the copy from America is accountability, transparency, following the rule of law, and competence in leadership. Because Nigeria is not a country of laws. We are a country that is governed by lawless people who make laws for the poor but cannot abide by them. Because if we are a country of laws, the Senate president, of course, is innocent until proven guilty. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. But you should know that as the number 3 citizen, you must be held to the highest ethical standards. And when you hold public office, you hold the public trust of the people. So the Senate president must be in a hurry to prove his innocence, to recuse himself and allow an independent investigation to establish the facts so that you can gain the trust of the people in that institution. Because it is not about you, it is also about the institution as more as it is about you. But Nigeria, there is nothing like that. It is anyhow, na wuru wuru. So everybody go just they move along. On a normal day, agencies like the ICPC, Independent Corrupt People and Practices and Other Related Offenses, people like the Public Complaints Commission, even the police can take up the allegations to investigate. Because of course, sexual harassment is an offense under the Penal and Criminal Code. But who you want to go investigate? You want to investigate the constituted authority. So as much as the case of Senator Natasha is a serious issue, we must not zero in on it alone. We must look at the bigger picture. Nigeria, if you have a National Assembly that is supposed to be performing oversight over other arms of government, has been completely hijacked, and there is no meaningful opposition. Even lawmakers are afraid to speak up, even to vote. They fear to vote out so that they no go fall out with the powers that be. Then we are in deep shit. We are in serious trouble. So all of us must look for opportunity where we ourselves must go that National Assembly, go and demand electoral reform to overhaul INEC, so that by 2027 we begin to drain the swamp, to retire the bunch of non-essentials who are occupying government offices for their personal good instead of public good, and ensure that we send in competent people who are able to lead this country for the sake of Nigerians, for God's sake. If not, these shenanigans you are seeing our lawmakers do, it will not end until we overhaul these institutions and this system. And that can only be achieved through electoral reform. So good, we fight for Senator Natasha, but Nigerians, we must fight for ourselves in terms of getting electoral reform. If not, we are in even more trouble than we think. May Nigerians get the courage to wake up, unite, and make demands to liberate ourselves. God bless Nigeria.
If you hear the name Nigeria and you not fear, you not run, meaning a leg now they pay you. As highly profiled as a senator of the Federal Republic, Senator Natasha Akpabio, finally, they don't suspend her. She's been suspended. The accuser don't suspend the complainant. Yes. Somebody complained of being sexually harassed against somebody, and the person who is being accused still sits in judgment over the complainant. And what do we expect, Nigerians? That's exactly what we got. They sent the beautiful lady home for at least 6 months. They may go chill. That in this chamber called Senate, we know they talk like that. We get what they do. And anything that happens here dies within here. Perhaps it's so painful. It's really painful. I look at the news and I look at my country. I can only but weep. Now, this is my point. This is my question to the Nigerian Senate. To every senator that sat in judgment over this injustice. Do you think this action has exonerated the Senate president from the accusation? The last time we know was the Senator Natasha submitted a petition to the Senate. Now, what was the outcome of that petition? What were the evidence in that petition? We will never get to hear about them. So silencing her is the best way, because suspending her have not in any way vindicated or exonerated the Senate president from the accusation. I just want everybody to have that in mind. No proof now that the Senate president did not commit this offense. Rather, they have to send her out of the chamber. That, whether we agree or not, is grossly injustice. Yes, but unfortunately, where is she going to cry to? But I love the lady. Sincerely, I love that lady. I love her courage, her determination. While she was about walking out of the Senate chamber, she said a word. And trust me, that was confident in action. Let us listen to what she said, even though the Senate was so quick to terminate her voice. Listen to her.
This injustice will not be sustained. The pursuit for justice.
Well, I'm sorry, my dear Senator Natasha. Yes, indeed, it is injustice. But you saying that it will not be sustained under this current system of Nigeria, madam, I expect you to know better. You said the pursuit for justice continues. I know that's what you wanted to say before they switched off the mic. And the person in charge of switching on and switching that mic, that your job not be here. It was very smart. You wouldn't even let her land. I love how she left the chamber. He said the injustice will not be sustained. That pursuit for justice continue. If we were in a sane system, like I've always said, Akpabio wasn't even supposed to sit presiding over this matter. It is really heartbreaking. It is embarrassing to see that Akpabio was the one that still announced the suspension, or in the name of the Senate committee on whatever recommended it. And this brought me to a notice. The man that stood to read the suspension motion to the floor of the Senate, Senator Neda Imaswen, you were supposed to be representing Edo South on the platform of the Labour Party. Edo South, where I happen to come from. Sadly, this is the first time I'm hearing you stand to read a book in the Senate, not even to speak. You actually stood to read what have been written and handed over to you. Is that how you're representing the people of Edo South? I will have so much to say to you, but I think I will keep that for another video. It's a shame that you are not even representing the people who sent you to the Red Chamber. Although we all know how you got there. You were not even known, you were not even, I doubt if you were qualified. The wave of obedient movement threw you into the Senate and you are there. doing nothing. I will visit you again in my next video. And as for the Senate that have done what they are not are doing, I pity for the people of Kogi Central. Now they'll be taken out. They no longer have a representative. And we think that is not injustice. Well, it's all right. Now we know that the Senate chamber is more than just a gathering of the representative of the people. Now they're beginning to prove, or rather act, like a very big confraternity, a strong court. In fact, I'll not continue before they go to find me.
And they done anything wrong against Senator Akpabio Uduaghan?
Well, to start with, I think that they have not just wronged Uduaghan, they've wronged Nigeria. The reason is simple. We all know that a few days ago, maybe 2 days ago or so, the court order was served on the Senate of Nigeria. The committee in charge of ethics and so on and so forth. And that there was proof of service. I mean, this was flying on the social media and everyone saw it. They got a substituted order to serve on the Senate through the office of the clerk. This was done. And then, in spite of this, you didn't sit down, you didn't rush a committee report, and then the person who is accused and who was likely to suffer from a suspension order was not even present. And so, in one breath, there was no fair hearing. You never heard the other side, in line with the provisions of the Constitution, Section 36. In the other breath, you disobeyed flagrantly a court order. And then you turn around to say, oh, the judiciary is not strong enough, the judiciary should improve, when we are the very ones, by this behavior, undermining judicial institutions in this country. Honestly, if I were the judge and the appropriate applications are made before me, I will go very far to make that point strong. Now let's come back to the rules. They've made so much noise about the rules. We wrote these rules. Or
Rule 60, Rule 40,
we reviewed,
Rule 20. There are a few sections of...
We reviewed the rules in 1999. I was the first to lay down the reviewed rules. It was what I laid that I sent to the Senate for them to use. It's not changed. They've just changed, increased committees, a few here and there. Now, the Senate President allocates the seat. The dispute arose from the allocation of seat. Now, once it is the Senate President that allocates a seat and the Senator complains about a right to a seat, it's a privilege, because the right to be in the Senate is by election and a certificate of return. Do not forget, you and I cannot go there. So once he raises that point, it is a duty under Order 10, the famous Order 10 she was shouting about, of the presiding officer, to have suspended all other matters. I consider that a very serious issue, and taking her complaint and make a formal ruling. But if you watch the proceedings on that day, as the distinguished senator was shouting, Order 10, Order 10, I already heard the presiding officer talking about prepare her for suspension. Review the tape. We've seen it. You were already preparing her for suspension even before you
So
could...
was it fait accompli?
Oh yeah, it was completely...
They decided our fate even long before the ethics committee was even...
It was predetermined. And then beyond that, the question was, at the time they went to court, the issue was that there was a thinking, a suspicion that she might be suspended. That was why she went to court. If you don't stop them, they will do it. And then they did it in spite of receiving the order. Now, I said to them, they were wrong. Section 4, subsection 8 of the Constitution is clear. In the conduct of its legislative powers and duties, their conduct shall be subject to the judiciary.
So you can actually, another arm of government can stop the activities of another arm of government.
Look, can I just take it briefly?
So the judiciary, the court can stop the activities that goes on in the chamber. I imagine that the activities within the chamber, there is some level of immunity to the procedure and the activities of lawmakers within the chamber.
As long as the activities do not obstruct the due process of law. I mean, once a Senate is in session, it is carrying out legislative business. Whether it is about a seat, whether it's about a breach of privilege, whether it is about passing a law, whether it's about passing a motion, it's all brought down legislative privilege. And so when the Constitution of Nigeria says that the National Assembly's duties shall be subject to the jurisdiction of the courts, shall, it means it. And that's why they run to court each time they are suspended. Chinda was there. Ndume was there.
And I was going to reference the case of Omar Agege. It was a rested case in the court.
Yes.
The case of Ali Ndume. They all went to court.
Dino Melaye.
Dino Melaye.
Yes.
These are cases that have been decided by our
Correct.
court. In that case, there is an underlying factor that the courts
have talked about.
For
For example, most courts have the view that you can't suspend a sitting senator or lawmaker of any legislative body for more than 14 days, interpreting the Legislative Powers and Privileges Act.
But so there is an establishment that the Senate or the National Assembly, when there is a quorum and there is a sitting, can suspend one of their own.
Oh,
established,
yeah,
by their own rules.
Definite.
But in the court, as at the famous case of Senator Omar Agege,
Yes.
that you cannot suspend for more than 14 days.
Correct. And not only that, you can also not suspend without hearing the other party. That was a violation.
Nemo Judas
in Kazaswa. You know that because the Senate President who allocates the seat and which was the course of action in all of this.
Well, Senator Uduaghan, Akpoti Uduaghan did not make herself available to the Ethics Committee.
Well, the point will be whether or not she was in court, because I understand she filed an action and she was probably present in court. So it will also depend whether there was a proving means of proof of service on her. Because if you have a fear about you being endangered by a given institution and you approach the appropriate institution for redress, you are most likely to pursue the processes to the attention of the prosecuting institution.
But let me ask you this fundamental question. The women folk, the gender, the female gender, has been under critical spotlight in politics, in this case of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. As a former lawmaker, if this kind of case comes up, what do you think is best? Because as anyone that is above the age of 50 and is in politics and is in governance and is in leadership, will assume some level of reasoning and wisdom in handling this kind of matter.
Yeah.
Don't forget that Senator Akpabio is a very good friend to Chief Emmanuel Uduaghan, the husband to Senator Akpoti Uduaghan. There is a family connection.
Yeah.
There is a friendship that is is in question here. Do you think this matter could have been handled in a better way?
Well, definitely, because the Senate President is the interpreter of their rules. So in interpreting the rules, you have two obligations. You have to be compassionate, and at the same time, you have to be humanistic. Remember, we are dealing with human beings. And then you must recognize that the world recognizes the endangered nature of female politicians. And that's why you've had affirmative action, you've had the Beijing Declaration. All of this is...
Does it look like Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan stepped out of the line? If there is a rule that you cannot speak if you're not sitting on your chair, even when you have a legitimate reason to protest, and there are cases that, the presiding officer himself in the 8th Assembly, we showed a video of how he agitated when he started in a place where there was no microphone. So he agitated. But shouldn't she have also obeyed first by sitting in the place and then protest later? The case of, say, obey the rules that were made by your own colleagues. Agree to.
No, but don't forget that even in the reallocation of seats, there is a notification. I am aware that text messages are either sent or a publication done. So if you didn't get any and you suddenly come to the Senate on that day and some para-legislative staff I'd say, no, man, you can't stay here. This is where you are going to sit. As a member of the Senate, you are not a slave. Remember that. Part of what qualifies you to remain in the Senate is that you were elected. So the right to speak as a senator is guaranteed. The right to protest is guaranteed. So you cannot be talking about sitting on the seat which is the subject of action.
We've seen 3 months suspension. We've seen a few months suspension, but this is 6 months. What a lot of Nigerians might not know tonight is that it's not 6 calendar months. It is 6 legislative sitting months, days that we're counting. Meaning that almost 8 months or 9 months.
Oh yeah, it will extend far beyond.
She will be out of work.
Far beyond calendar month.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think what she will be doing, I mean, what that means is that a state of the Federal Republic, Kogi State, will be denied the right to equality of representation in the Senate. The Senate is a special body. It's made up of 3 senators per state, regardless of the size of the state. And there's a reason for that. So each time this happens, you deny Kogi State the right to a vote. And so I think that regardless of the political parties to which she may belong, the government of Kogi State should intervene and express a reservation, because it may come to a point where one vote will matter and Natasha will not be there. And that's key. It's key. So that's why it's not just about Natasha. It's about whether or not Kogi State, as a component state of the Federation of Nigeria, is denied a senatorial vote.
How damaging is this for the reputation of the Senate under Godswill Akpabio?
Well, I think the most damaging is the blazing disobedience of court order. It is very untenable for a lawmaking body.
But there are very senior lawyers there. You have the Senate President, who is a lawyer. You have the majority leader, who is also a very respected senior lawyer. And do you think they would have flagrantly disobeyed court orders if they probably had considered something else that you are not saying? Let us say.
Well, you know, the truth is, power is an aphrodisiac. Legislation and the business of legislation it smells of power. So sometimes they may oversight the law, in the sense that they are dealing with primary interests which are also underlined politically, whether we like it or not. And politics is about who gets what, how, and when. So if they had made up their mind to suspend this senator, nothing else for them will matter, not even a court order. So their seniority in law will probably not be counted on this occasion. But for us who are outside, who are observing, who are practicing, we will not fail to say no. Before many of them, we were there. So we would tell
Can this be corrected?
Well, for me, the way to correct it is there are 2 ways. One, to hold a special session and rescind their decision, or the courts to step in and order and not suspend the senator, because it was done in flagrant disobedience. So once the court lawyers file the appropriate action, we know that a mandatory injunction can do this, and I urge these lawyers, our lawyers, to take the move, make the move.
Can Godswill Akpabio fix what has come like a dent on his leadership of the Senate?
Well, that may take some time, but it can carry out immediate emergency repairs, which will be do the right things, win some folks, and then hope over the period, make some good laws for the good governance of our country, work on some real nice policies. Maybe the country.
A lot of women are not happy with him.
It's understandable, because it takes a woman such a long journey to get to the Senate. How many are there?
All right.
This injustice will not be sustained. The pursuit for justice